хочу нагнетать, но ситуация очень опасна.
I do not want to escalate the situation, but it is very dangerous. Yes, recently we have resumed contacts with the United States. This can only be welcomed, because any contact is better than none at all. We are holding consultations on a number of issues, including the settlement of the Ukrainian conflict. However, overall the situation remains very dangerous, because, as you probably know, arms on a certain clock face, the doomsday clock, a symbol representing the likelihood of a man-made nuclear catastrophe, have not moved anti-clockwise. They move only forward and forward. Where I see the danger, as someone who knows what he is talking about and being the incumbent deputy chairman of Russia's Security Council and a person who has served as a head of state, is this: the pain threshold appears to be decreasing. When I was a child and a youngster, whenever leading countries, including the Soviet Union, the United States, NATO countries, and the Warsaw Pact, spoke about the possibility of a nuclear conflict, it was always shocking, especially after the Cuban Missile Crisis of October 1962. The overall belief was that this must not happen because it should never happen. It was a maxim all politicians adhered to, regardless of their orientation, be it socialist, liberal, or Western. It was like the Lord's Prayer in politics, as we say. We used to say, during the period when the previous U.S. administration of President Joe Biden was in office, that at a certain point this could all develop into an uncontrollable scenario. One thing would lead to another. One strike would prompt a response, then another strike followed by another response. Eventually, all these could lead to a response that would be of global scale and absolutely devastating for all. I was genuinely surprised. When I tell this to I don't want to call them partners now, but at least the people we communicate with, they say, "Oh no, the Russians are just making it up. These are horror stories. In reality, they won't do anything. They're not interested in this themselves. We are not interested in a global conflict. We're not crazy. We've said it 100 times. Who needs a global conflict?" But we were also not interested in the start of the special military operation in Ukraine. We repeatedly warned the West and NATO countries, saying, "Let us reach an agreement, take into account the interests of the Russian Federation, define the boundaries of NATO's further expansion, and refrain from dragging Ukraine into NATO, especially given that we already had a territorial dispute with Ukraine over Crimea." The response from the West was, "No, no way. We will do whatever we want, and whoever wants to, may join." This is the outcome. And now this has become a major global problem.